What if I told you that the way you get out of bed each morning could be slowly damaging your heart? I'm not talking about your mattress or your pillow. I'm talking about something you've been doing automatically since childhood. A movement so natural, so ordinary, that it never crosses your mind. Yet cardiovascular research shows this single habit may be increasing your risk of morning heart attacks by nearly half. And here's the troubling part. Most physicians never discuss it during routine checkups. Before you scroll away, let me share something remarkable. A landmark study in cardiovascular medicine discovered that one simple adjustment to your morning routine, something requiring zero money, zero equipment, and less than 2 minutes, reduced early morning cardiac incidence by over 60% in people past age 60. The catch? Fewer than 1 in 10 people actually do it. I'm Dr. Favor Ademi, and for 2 decades I've worked in cardiac care, witnessing preventable heart emergencies that began in those critical first moments after waking. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside your body when you wake up, why it creates a perfect storm for cardiovascular events, and the simple morning sequence that could protect your heart for years to come. Let me explain what's happening beneath your awareness each morning, because until you grasp this mechanism, the danger won't make sense. Throughout the night, your body operates in conservation mode. Your pulse decreases, blood pressure lowers, and your nervous system enters a state of deep rest. This nocturnal calm is the only true recovery period your heart experiences in any 24-hour cycle. But here's what catches most people off guard. Approximately 1 hour before you fully wake, before consciousness returns, before that first alarm chime, your brain begins releasing powerful stress hormones into your bloodstream. Cortisol and adrenaline start climbing while you're still asleep. By the moment you reach for that alarm clock, these hormones have already flooded your system. These chemicals trigger 3 immediate cardiovascular responses. Your pulse accelerates sharply, blood pressure climbs rapidly, and blood vessels throughout your body constrict. All of this happens within seconds. At age 35, your cardiovascular system managed this morning surge effortlessly. Your arterial walls were flexible and responsive, adapting instantly to the pressure changes. After 60, everything shifts. Arteries lose elasticity, response times slow, and in countless individuals who feel perfectly healthy, arterial plaque has been accumulating silently, deposits they have no idea exist. When that hormonal surge strikes a vessel containing unstable plaque, the pressure can rupture it. A ruptured plaque triggers immediate clotting. When that clot forms in a heart artery, you have a myocardial infarction. In a brain artery, a stroke occurs. This isn't speculation, it's documented physiology. Published cardiovascular research demonstrates that cardiac events occur 40% more frequently between 6 and 10 a.m. than during any other 4-hour period. This isn't coincidence. It's your body's biochemistry. And what you do in those first 30 seconds after waking either supports your heart through this surge or pushes it toward crisis. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Robert. At 67, Robert was a retired educator who managed his health conscientiously. He never missed his blood pressure medication, maintained a regular walking routine 5 days weekly, and attended annual physicals religiously. His most recent ECG showed no concerns. His physician had assured him his cardiovascular health was excellent for his age. One Wednesday morning, Robert's alarm sounded. He silenced it and did what he'd done every single morning for over a decade. Sat up quickly, pivoted his legs off the mattress, and stood immediately. He took 4 steps toward the hallway and collapsed. When I later examined Robert's medical history, everything indicated proper health management. His prescriptions were appropriate, his nutrition was sound, and his physical activity exceeded the average for his age group. But nobody had ever mentioned those critical first 30 seconds of his morning. I'll return to Robert's outcome shortly, because what emerged during his recovery, the single modification his previous doctors had never suggested, is precisely why I'm creating this message today. Here's the habit that most people over 60 perform every morning that silently creates cardiovascular risk. They stand up immediately. That's the entire problem. The alarm sounds, and within 3 seconds, they're upright. It seems completely normal. It feels utterly harmless. For your heart, at that precise morning moment, it's among the most hazardous things you can do. Here's the physiology. When you're horizontal, Blood distributes fairly evenly throughout your body. The instant you become vertical, gravity pulls substantial blood volume downward into your legs and lower abdomen. Your heart must react immediately to maintain adequate brain perfusion. In younger individuals, this autonomic reflex operates quickly and precisely. Vessels constrict appropriately, heart rate adjusts, and pressure stabilizes within seconds. In adults beyond 60, this reflex system slows considerably. Vessels don't respond as rapidly. Blood pressure can plummet 15, 20, even 30 millimeters of mercury within seconds of standing. The medical term is orthostatic hypotension. You might recognize it as that foggy, lightheaded sensation when you first rise in the morning. Many people past 60 experience this and assume it's a normal part of aging. It's not normal. It's a physiological warning signal. And here's how this connects to the morning hormone surge I described. When blood pressure drops suddenly upon standing, your heart compensates by dramatically increasing its rate and force to restore circulation. In a vulnerable heart already stressed by morning cortisol elevation, already working against less flexible arteries and more viscous blood, this compensatory spike can trigger dangerous rhythm disturbances. It can destabilize plaque. In severe cases, it results in emergencies I see in the cardiac unit. Standing up in under 3 seconds is the morning mistake that requires no money to correct. There's a second reason mornings pose unique cardiovascular risk, and this surprises nearly every patient when I explain it. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, you're clinically dehydrated. Every single morning, without exception, you haven't consumed any fluids for the entire night. You've been breathing continuously for hours, losing moisture with every exhalation. Consequently, by the time your alarm sounds, your blood has become measurably thicker and more viscous than when you fell asleep. Consider your heart as a pump and your vessels as tubing. When the fluid moving through that tubing flows freely, the pump operates efficiently. When the fluid thickens, the pump must work harder with every contraction. Thicker blood doesn't just increase cardiac workload, it clots more readily. Research confirms that clotting factors reach their peak activity during early morning hours. This is a primary reason cardiovascular events concentrate so heavily in that 6 to 10 a.m. window. It's the hormonal surge combined with viscous blood, combined with stiff vessels, all converging simultaneously. A triple threat for any heart past 60. The solution is almost absurdly simple. 1 glass of room temperature water before anything else. Before your morning coffee, before medications, before checking your phone. 1 glass of water consumed before your feet touch the floor begins reducing blood viscosity, lowering clotting risk, and giving your cardiovascular system proper fluid volume before the day's full demands begin. This is the protective practice I mentioned at the start. The one that published research found reduced early morning cardiac events by over 60% in adults beyond age 60. 1 glass of water taken while lying down or sitting before standing. That's it. And almost nobody does it consistently. Quick question. Do you drink water first thing upon waking, before coffee or anything else? Comment yes or no right now. I review every response, and the pattern I observe tells me a great deal about whether critical information is reaching those who need it most. Now let me give you the full morning sequence, because once you understand the risk, the solution is remarkably straightforward. I call it the 90-second heart shield protocol. No equipment required, no cost, nothing to purchase. Just a sequence taking 90 seconds that protects your cardiovascular system every single morning. Phase 1. The instant your alarm sounds, remain completely still. Don't move at all. Take 3 slow, intentional breaths before doing anything else. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, fully and deliberately. This single action activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the calming mechanism, and begins counteracting the cortisol surge before it peaks. 3 breaths, 15 seconds. One of the most powerful cardiovascular protective interventions available, completely free. Research on deliberate breathing immediately upon waking demonstrates measurable reductions in morning blood pressure spikes in adults past 60. Phase 2. Drink the water before standing. Place a full glass of water on your nightstand tonight. Before your feet touch the floor, consume it. Room temperature, the entire glass. This is essential. You now understand why. Reduce blood viscosity, lower clotting risk, give your heart better fluid to pump before the day begins. Phase 3. Sit before you stand. Roll to your side. Push yourself up slowly. Sit on the mattress edge with feet dangling. Don't rush this. Rotate your ankles in slow circles, 5 rotations in each direction. This activates the muscle pump in your calves, which pushes pooled blood back toward your heart and helps restore blood pressure gradually. Sit for a full 30 seconds before standing. Then rise slowly, pushing through your legs. Stand still for 10 seconds before taking your first step. That's the complete protocol. 3 breaths, 1 glass of water, sit before standing. 90 seconds total, starting tomorrow morning. If you're currently taking a diuretic, a water pill for blood pressure management, there's one additional consideration. Diuretics work by removing excess fluid through kidney filtration. They're effective and commonly prescribed. However, when kidneys flush fluid, they also flush magnesium, and magnesium regulates the electrical signals controlling your heartbeat. When magnesium levels decline quietly, which happens in a significant percentage of people on long-term diuretics, the heart becomes electrically unstable. Palpitations, irregular rhythm, arrhythmia, and these tend to manifest most strongly in the morning, precisely when your heart is already under maximum stress. If you take a diuretic, ask your physician at your next appointment to check your magnesium level. A simple 2-minute blood test. That information could be genuinely protective for your heart. I promise to return to Robert's story. After he stabilized, I spoke with him and his wife about his typical morning. He described exactly what I expected. Alarm, immediate movement, straight to vertical, straight to the bathroom. Every morning for over a decade. Nobody had ever questioned it. His previous cardiologist had reviewed medications, diet, and exercise. Nobody had asked about those first 30 seconds. We implemented one modification before discharge: a glass of water on the nightstand, the 3-breath practice, and sitting on the bed edge before standing. 6 months later, at his follow-up appointment, his morning blood pressure readings, which his wife had been tracking at home, had stabilized significantly. The dizziness he'd always dismissed as normal aging had disappeared. His cardiologist noted the improvement and asked what had changed. Robert answered, "I stopped standing up fast." "Why didn't anyone mention this before?" he asked me in the hallway afterward. I didn't have a satisfying answer, but I told him what I'll tell you now. The research exists, the information exists, and the practice itself costs nothing and takes 90 seconds. It simply needs to reach people who need it before the morning when it matters most. You're that person, and you now have this information. Morning hours represent the highest risk window for your heart after 60. Cortisol and adrenaline surge before you're fully conscious, simultaneously driving up heart rate, blood pressure, and vessel constriction. Your blood reaches its maximum thickness. Your arteries are at their most rigid, and the habit of immediate standing, something over 90% of people do unconsciously, adds a sudden pressure drop, forcing an already stressed heart to compensate aggressively. The solution has 3 components: 3 breaths before moving, 1 glass of water before standing. Sit on the bed edge for 30 seconds before rising slowly. That's your 90-second heart shield protocol, beginning tomorrow morning. Put a glass of water on your nightstand tonight. Just that one action. The rest will follow naturally. Which element of this information surprised you most? Share in the comments. I read every one. And if this provided something valuable, please share it. Someone in your life wakes up every morning doing exactly what Robert did. You may not know who yet, but this video might reach them before the morning when it counts. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Each week I share research-backed information about what your body needs past 60. The information I wish every patient had before ending up in my care. Care for your heart. It's been working for you every minute of every day without asking anything in return. Give it 90 quality seconds tomorrow morning. It's more than a fair exchange. Everything presented in this video constitutes general medical education based on published research and clinical experience. It does not substitute for personalized medical care. Before modifying medications, exercise habits, or morning routines, consult your own physician. They understand your individual history. Bring this information to that conversation. That's where optimal medicine begins.